What's up? My name is Albert and I'm going to show you 8 great resources to get the best references for your artwork. I make alternative movie posters as well as portraits for various clients, and these websites help me time and time again. Even if you don't do the kind of artwork that I do, it's still going to be a helpful resource for what you do. Alright, so before I start looking for references, I would usually just do some sketches beforehand of any ideas that I have for like a poster design or just a straight up portrait. So once I have the sketches done, then I'm going to look at the references on the websites that I use. So the first stop, it's going to be Pinterest. So I have a whole board dedicated to portraits from different movies that I enjoy, of any actors that I want to illustrate at the time. Sometimes I just do exercises before a big poster just to get my hand moving. So you could do this on your own in Pinterest. You'll be able to create your own mood boards or just pin boards and categorize them depending on what you need to do. And that's one of the great benefits of Pinterest, is that you get infinite amount of images throughout the whole website. It has a really great algorithm that whenever you click an image, it'll also recommend other ones that are similar to that one. And a great feature that it has is the magnifying glass feature, that when you select a part of the image, you'll be able to get recommendations of similar things of that section. It's free and it's a user-friendly platform for any creative. And although the algorithm is great, it'll end up just kind of recommending the same things to you. So sometimes I would pin one image, and because multiple people can upload any image they want, it'll start recommending the same exact image to me. So it's very counterintuitive sometimes, but as long as you're keeping it very varied, you should be fine. But when you're pinning a lot of the very specific thing, it tends to just group that all and change your feed to just that because it thinks that's all you want to see. Personally, I like to have my board very broad so I can get stuff that I usually wouldn't look for, but it's something similar to what I would like. Pinterest is a great way to get your search started. It's a really good way to find headshots of different actors as well as any shot from a movie. It does tend to be lower quality because it's being processed into this website. What I do enjoy about Pinterest is I'm able to get a color palette out of whatever I'm pinning, just so I can get a general idea of what my poster or my illustration is going to look like at the end. The next stop after Pinterest is going to be IMDb. IMDb is usually just a website where you can find what movies are out right now and which ones are popular. But if you look into a movie, they also have images sections where you can also find references there. You can find a bunch of publicity stills as well as movie stills and a bunch of like the different key art that's been done for that movie. It can be filtered to pinpoint a certain thing that you're looking for. So say you're looking for a specific actor, you can actually pinpoint it just to show images of the said actor without giving you all the other kind of things that's there. But like I said before, usually what these things have in the images section is usually just the poster designs, the key art, and then maybe like publicity stills of them at the red carpet, but very few movie stills, or if not, it's probably just from the trailer. And some movies, such as like indie movies, don't have as much images such as like a blockbuster film. So I usually don't spend too much time on IMDb, but I always make sure to check it just in case I find something. And of course, like I said in the beginning, there's always Google. What's great about Google is that you could find any images through the recommendations once you click an image, just like Pinterest. And a great feature that Google has is that you're able to upload a certain image, and sometimes you'll be able to find a higher res version of said image, but it also gives you recommendations of where you can find that. But a very resourceful website that I've found for what I do is Movie Stills DB, or just Movie Stills database. This one's even better than IMDb because it has a dedicated search engine for higher res images of the movie. So you can find a bunch of movie stills, a bunch of headshots of the actors, and just overall better imagery than you would at IMDb. It's great when you need a detail shot of an actor during a certain part of the movie, or you just need a detail shot of like the environment that they're in. So it's great for composite artists. And just like IMDb, they have a filter just for the actors that you could filter for just that movie, or you could just click the actor and you'll be able to see all the projects that they're in, but all the imagery all in one section. It's free to view all the images, but it does require a membership if you want to download the high-res files. When I signed up for the website, it was about $7 for 100 credits. And the way you get these images is 1 credit per download of a said image. And I've had this for 3 years now, and I don't usually download as much, but just to let you know, it should last you a while. But if you do run out, you could always buy more. Gumroad is a place where creators can sell assets, brushes, video tutorials, or even just reference photos. A great resource that sells on Gumroad is Graphic Studio. They have over 600 plus images of different dynamic poses from different models. And just like Movie Stills database, you do have to pay for this. And the difference between this and Movie Stills database is you're supporting the creator directly. And now for the fun ones. Figures. Get posable figures for your studio. And I'm not talking about the janky ones that you can get at like Michael's that are like $5 that are usually in every starter pack that you get when you're a kid. Not that there's anything generally wrong with that, it's just they're not really gonna articulate really well to make any dynamic poses that you may need. At least that's from my experience. One that got recommended to me was the Fikin figure. It's really great because it's made of silicone and it's able to articulate any way you want, and it's very lifelike because of the material that it's made of. And if you could see with the lighting, it just does it really well, and you can easily pose this and then take pictures of it. And what's cool about these, they do come in a bigger size. Comes with a bulkier body with more muscle mass. You could get the female form as well, but like I said, I only really needed this for like quick poses when I couldn't like photograph myself or I couldn't find something online. What I love about these is that it doesn't have any like kind of joints aside from the hands and the legs. So you don't get any distracting like cuts on the elbows or anything when you're trying to, you know, like draw it out. And whenever you're finished and not using it, put it somewhere around the house like an Easter egg for people to find. If you do have the budget for it, I do recommend the Hot Toys. They do run about like $200 or more, but it's a very high quality sculpt of the different actors that you might want to illustrate. And even if you're not using that said actor's face, they have a high quality fabric for their clothing, which is very lifelike. So when you're posing, the fabric folds in like a natural way. And they're great subjects for photography. Check this guy out. And again, they're just fun to have around the house. And if you don't have the budget for like a Hot Toys or something, there are cheaper versions that are a little bit more affordable. Like this TNS figure that I got of the Joker. It's much less than what I would have paid for, say, a Hot Toy. And the sculpt is actually still pretty good, and the clothing is really well done too. So for when I'm posing it, it's still gonna come out with what I need for a reference. I'm just trying to pose it, hold on. And the really well-made ones can stand on their own, but some of them just come with stands, and you could just use that when you're doing a dynamic pose or take a picture of. And if you want, you could even do like dioramas for these figures for them to just like kind of stand on when they're not in use, or photograph them in an environment to even further enhance your reference photo. But seriously, you could use any figure from any budget. You don't have to spend a bunch of money on it as long as it gets you to where you're going. You could use it all for your illustration or just get a general idea of where the shapes and shadows are going to be. Now, for the old reliable. Photograph yourself or a friend. Sometimes you can't get that pose online on a reference photo, or you can't just pose your figure because it can't do that. So the best way to get what you really want is just to pose someone or pose yourself and take a picture. Seriously, just set up your iPhone on like a bunch of books, or if you have a tripod, even better, and get some really good lighting and get that pose on. But the best thing that you could do is get a friend or a family member to pose for you. So there you have it. These are the resources that I use on a daily when I'm working on a poster or just a portrait in general. They become key parts of my illustrative process for any project that I'm working on currently. I really hope these were helpful for you, and if you do have other ones that I may have missed, please put them down in the comments for other people to see, because it's just a way for all of us to learn. And don't forget to subscribe here, as well as follow the latest podcast here, so you can get a general idea of what professionals are doing now and get an insight on their careers, and just so you can see if that's something for you. Alright, until next time.